Thank you for joining us here on Something to Talk About. Of course, we're at King's in Tamuning, and we got a special one today because Redspur has designed an apple for us in honor of everything Guam. I'm assuming FestPac is underway, a lot happening on Guam. We did not want to get lost in the shuffle. The marking the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of Exuda Foundation, and the 14th anniversary of Island Girl Power. And she has been the face of Island Girl Power for 16 years. You know Juanita Bloss. Hi, Juanita. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And then we have Doreen Mendiola. She is the clubhouse manager for the Northern Clubhouse, because now, in the span of all of those years, you were able to put together a Southern Clubhouse. So congratulations. Yeah. Progress. Just what interests me so much, Juanita, is that it went from this idea, right, into a full-blown exercise to open up this clubhouse so quickly. It feels like quickly, but I know that you went through a lot of growing pains to get to this point.
Yeah, we 2 moves and closed down for about a year for the renovation of the new facility in Dededo. We had a southern location all those years ago in 2002. And then that stopped, and then now we have a new one since 2014.
Okay. What was it about the early days starting with the clubhouse? And let me just give you a couple of options to consider. Was it having people sign on to this new attitude of empowering little girls in the neighborhood? Was it the neighborhood rejecting or accepting? Or was it just the infrastructure to put something like this together and get the kind of funding you needed for all of the above?
I think it's kind of like a combination, because we definitely were operating with hardly any budget. We'd have sponsorships or grants, many grants through public health for rape prevention. We have different gardening projects and environmental projects over the years. But for the girls program, we never really had funding until this grant that we're working on right now through Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness. So if it wasn't for the community buying in to what we're doing and the community really helping and sponsoring, donating for our rummage sales all those years, for 10 years, we did rummage sales every 4 months. So if it wasn't for every contribution from the community and volunteers coming in, we wouldn't have been able to sustain, to keep growing. And families bringing their daughters every Saturday to the program. If it wasn't for those girls coming and participating in the workshops and the classes that we have, then we would have needed to stop.
Tell me what that was like, because when you were first starting, it was really a bare bones staff. It was like you, Carlotta, maybe a few other people at the table.
Parents.
And parents.
Yeah.
So how did you figure that you really were making it happen? At what point did you go, okay, all right, we got a plan?
Well,
knock on a lot of doors asking for stuff.
Organizations and agencies started to recognize the efforts that we were doing. We had partnerships, letters of agreements with different groups to come in and do workshops with the girls, because gender-specific programs were needed because of teen pregnancy, suicide rates among females, the sexual assault awareness campaign. So we were really tied in with a lot of key outreach in the community. And without those outreach partners, what would we have besides a place for girls to just hang out?
Well, you had their target audience too, so they needed you as much as you needed them.
We fit a niche.
Yeah.
And out of all the programs that are out there, we can honestly say that we are a prevention program, and we don't accept sponsorship from alcohol industry or tobacco, or we really even stay away from just anything that's really negative or overly exploiting of females.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to build our reputation in the community.
That makes for the building of your credibility too, because it's so easy to take money from the ills that we have problems with in our society. It's easy because the money is big from big companies that push things that negatively impact.
It was a struggle. We honestly had to consider the support, and by saying no, we cut more than 60-70% of the possible support from the community because we stayed away from those distributors. So it wasn't a decision we made overnight. But in order to be an effective prevention program and help families to be more positive, to live a more healthy lifestyle, we needed to be the one to say no.
You had to be pure. You had to be completely pure.
And I
which
can
is
sleep
cool.
at night.
Yeah.
I can sleep at night because we're not sending out mixed messages to the community that, no, don't do this, but here,
They're
let's
giving you
get
money to try to.
money or drinks or banners or whatever it is that they're pushing out.
Because they would have required you to post banners and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, now that you're on your own 2 feet, you don't need to answer to anybody in that way, right?
Long time coming.
So yeah. So, but most of the money that you receive is it comes from grant money usually.
A lot of community
Federal
support.
grant money?
So right now we're with the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness, the PEACE program, and we're part of the coalitions, empowering coalitions into the community.
Yeah. Okay. So now that I mean, you've got your own legs. You've grown up. Oh my gosh, the clubhouse has grown up. Doreen, when did you start? When did you get on board with the?
I started pretty much at Tizan as well. Right after Juanita started, I actually volunteered as a parent. Volunteered because my girl, I wanted her to experience more things than I did growing up. So, you know, to expand
Can we go
her
there
mind.
for a second?
Oh my gosh, okay.
Do you mind if I get
okay.
if I get
Hopefully I don't get too
personal?
emotional, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mean to make you emotional.
No,
but
I mean in a
bet
good
you
way.
It's a story that you're proud
Yeah,
of. Okay.
yeah.
Because that was what it meant to me. Because for Juanita, she had all of these daughters, and what I was most taken by was the fact that she had dedicated so much time to everybody else's daughters as well. So, you know, to be a mother, you always feel like you have a lot of love for a lot of stuff, but that was taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And she had to engage and have mothers had to sign on. So tell me, your daughter started going that as when it first started?
Yeah,
In
when it
Debbie
first.
Doe?
Yeah, no, in Tizan.
And Tizan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
forgot about the Tizan.
First location.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
location. That's
yeah.
how
3
we started.
years in Tizan.
So
Yeah.
how I actually, you know, put my daughter in. I had my other Mali, a friend of mine. We were really close. So she asked me to, you know, have our girls do things together. I said, let's go to Island Girl Power. Juanita's there, and you know, sign them in. So I said, okay. Since I wasn't working at the time, so I was more like the mom at home, and you know. And so I did, and I continued on from there to have my girl experience something that, like I said, I didn't have growing up. You know, open mind and, you know, able to do other things.
What did you have growing up?
Uh,
Yeah, it was a tough time for you and your family. Was there a tough time in your family you had growing up? Is that what you're?
well, not so much of a tough time, but, you know, because I'm the oldest of the...
Oh, you're the
the
oldest. So
oldest
you
of
were
the
the one
six.
who had to
Yeah.
take care of everything. So you
Yeah.
didn't have the freedom to join clubs or sports.
No,
and
I didn't
stuff
get
like
to do a lot
after-school
of those
programs.
things because, you know, I was more like the big
Second
sister,
mother.
the second mother,
that
and
one.
yeah, so, you know, and I was okay with it. I mean, I didn't mind staying home or, I know that basically, well, we've been going backwards, but
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah.
Go backwards. That's because the story is what the
Yeah.
story is in the background.
yeah, because, you know, just basically being the girl and the oldest, so I usually stay home with my siblings, or we do family stuff together.
Okay.
So it's always about family.
So you grew up in a
So I
good
didn't-
you grew up in a good
yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
You just wanted your daughters to have more exposure
Yeah.
to cool things.
Yeah, I actually only have one daughter.
Okay, so you wanted them to have exposure to cool things.
Yeah, different things, and
Yeah.
so I wanted her to, you know, and at the time she was also shy, so she wasn't really the kind that she's always holding on to me wherever I go, and I didn't want her to, you know, cling on to me every time. I wanted her to be able to, you know, socialize with her age group.
Yeah.
I could be in the other room and she's already looking for me, so I'm kind of trying to.
How old
you know,
was she? at the
She
time?
was about 7, 8 years old,
Oh, yeah,
and
at that
she was
time.
still So and you know she's already going to
mama's
school.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was I slowly put her in there, and then I would, when I go into the the clubhouse, I'll go to another room, but I'll leave her there, so that just kind of gracefully
Yeah.
move away, so that she's not so used to
Clingy, yeah.
clingy. And because I would watch her and she would just sit on the corner, but after a while she got used to it. She got used to it.
Do you remember this?
Yeah,
Very
she
shy.
got used
Well,
to it.
and there's many girls that come in very shy. So I always encourage parents to sign their daughter up with a cousin or a friend, so they come in immediately
Yeah.
With a
with
partner.
someone that they can
So
learn
that's
from.
what happened. You had your Mully, your godchild, or is
Yeah,
that-
my godchild was there too, but um, you know, some things happened. I mean, not a bad thing, but she just got busy with other things with her daughters. But I continued with mine, and then later on, I was hired to work at the daycare. So then I kind of slowly stopped going for a while. But when you know, we moved, Island Girl Power moved to Dededo, then I consistently come in, and we had like jump rope.
Oh, I remember that jump rope program that you
Yeah,
had,
Brian
right?
Dodge.
Right, yeah.
Put my girl in there, and we had capoeira. Put my girl in there. I even also put my son in there because now you can actually mix up the boys
Oh,
and
and
the
the girls.
girls.
In
But
the
it's
self-defense program.
yeah,
See,
it's an
they-
outside program.
These are these introductory programs that really let kids understand what kind of confidence, you know, you can build their confidence.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here. Can you believe we're already finished with the first segment? We're going to take a really quick break here, and then when we come back, we'll talk about a lot of the other programs and things that Island Girl Power does that makes your daughters cool, right? Okay, we'll be right back. There's your salad. Okay, we would have done a teeth check before we started this segment, but the Swedish pancakes, I know we always tell you about the Chesa platter and the Tonelli Cutney and the lumpia is really good here. The fruit platter we always have just because we want to make sure that we're eating healthy. But these Swedish pancakes, I got to tell you, I have to have these from King's. They're so good. Okay, all right, now, the programs, you had to really meet, I guess, some of the needs of the neighborhood kids, right? But then at the same time, you wanted to expose to them some things that they never would have been able to ever do. Capoeira, then you had the jump roping, and then you had archery or something, right? I
Yeah,
remember,
we
I
had the
remember going
archery.
one day
Yeah.
and practicing.
Guam
That-
3D Archery was really amazing
yeah,
partner.
Yep.
and you had a lot of people who had no problem coming out and exposing the girls to something new.
Well, and that's what we explained is we're not a place for these hardcore classes to happen in the community, but
Yeah.
we're enough of a place, a facility that can give an intro and expose people to new activities and new projects for their family to take on.
Did you ever run into the attitude from some families that they did not want their kids to be a part of the neighborhood clubhouse like that, to push their young girls, you know, to learn about, you know,
Well-
their well, first of all, to learn all about sexuality for one thing, and I mean that's for some topic that's just taboo.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the underlying issue that we have with outreach. So as much as we put our program out there and that it's free and that really all we ask for is a $5 donation for lunch, but the program that we run every Saturday is free to the participants. The reason why the numbers are steady is because that outreach into the community is hard. Because you are teaching your daughters how to live a healthier life and how to be healthier and be aware of the social issues that are going to eventually impact them in some way. Suicide on the island is huge, and we're trying to combat that and help them with coping skills. You know, sexual assault, a lot of it is outreaching and letting them know what behaviors are not acceptable, what is an unhealthy relationship. You know,
Did you find that you had the attitude of people who didn't want their daughters to be exposed to any of it?
I think most parents are really open and really wanting to, but then it comes down to priorities. It comes down to we've heard parents say, "Well, let me ask my daughter if she wants to join." At some point, you need to be the parent and
I see.
let this be the negotiating factor in the child getting to do what they want.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and you want to hang out with your cousins all weekend, or if you want to go do this or go to the mall, or you want that cell phone, then
Make
you
this a
go
part
to
of your
these
life.
you attend this program.
Yeah, yeah.
You join the self-defense class. Mom and dad will feel better because you're in
And
self-defense.
all of that is free and
free.
open.
It's free.
Now, do you take girls? It's not just a clubhouse for Dedido because it's in Dedido.
No.
located
No, we've
in
always been
Dedido.
island-wide.
Okay, but do you get parents that will come to Dedido that are not, you know, necessarily?
We've had people travel from down south before we had our southern location. We've had people coming out from Mangilao, from Barragata. It doesn't matter. Any village is welcomed. The fact that we are located in Dededo is because we were afforded that facility. And, you know, Gura has allowed us to stay there and expand
Yeah.
into more opportunities and services for the community. Most people don't even know that we're there and don't even know we've taken over that corner.
Yeah, and you've been there for a long time. It
But
just looks like a
we've
really
been
fancy
there.
house now.
We've been there for 10 years,
Yeah.
but we've expanded into 4 buildings.
Yeah, so
in
they
the
don't even
past 2
realize it's a
years.
pretty big compound.
It's a big
right?
compound. We have the thrift store,
Yeah.
and the thrift store is able to support our utilities and the guy that cuts the grass.
Wow.
The community garden is in the back of the 4 buildings, and the training center that helps to get our volunteers in and help to build their leadership.
Now I got to ask you, Dory, because you said you didn't want to get emotional. Was there something about that story that was emotional that I didn't catch? Can I bite this
Oh
Swedish
yeah.
pancake
Like
while you're talking?
I guess it's just basically talking about my daughter.
Okay.
You know, it just gets to.
Is it because she was so shy and
She
that
was
you saw her
shy.
break out of that mold that was emotional?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
did
know.
you think that she would never kind of get out of that?
She's so outgoing.
Oh,
She's
you're the
so
opposite of her.
outgoing.
She's the opposite of you. Oh, I have one of those. It's a
Yeah.
hard place to be when you're
Yeah.
the parent that's really loud.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really happy that she was able to
Okay, so you
come
just-
out of it and
All
start
right.
talking.
So you just figured that she wasn't going to come out
Yeah.
of the show.
We've seen the
And-
growth in
Wow.
our daughters through the
and
program.
plus also
Wow.
being protective over her. I wanted her to be able to, you know, learn how to protect herself. But at the same time, what I mean by protecting herself is that if in the event that something she's not comfortable with
Yeah.
around people, I wanted her to be able to speak
Express
up.
that. Okay. See, now I get it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you would have thought you were dealing with a child who would never say that something ever happened to
Yeah.
her if something happened to her. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Oh, I get
another
it.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is she now? Is she like a?
Oh, my
she out there? Did you
goodness.
create a monster?
My daughter's a coach at for paddling now.
How
and
old is she now?
She's 22.
Say her name. Can we say
Oh,
her name?
Her name
Well,
is.
they know you. It's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna not know
Well,
her.
her name is Alicia, but she's well known as Ellie
Okay, Ellie Mendiola.
La Puebla.
La Puebla.
Yeah,
Ellie,
Mendiola La
you've been,
Puebla.
you've been called out. Now. You guys can eat because I'm
Yeah.
eating, okay? Can help me. All right, here's the other thing. The one thing that they did learn, because I have all this food, I'm like, eat this, eat this. They're like, no, because we are teaching portion control.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing
control.
at the...
At Island Girl
What
Power
is that part of the
Clubhouse?
program?
reduction.
Yeah, by the way, she noticed this sitting on the table. You were part of the NCD that was pushing
Yeah,
for the no
right,
salt.
yeah.
Did you get flack for that?
Well,
Because I had some people that were on the radio program. They were like, you're taking over my life now.
well, you know, if we didn't have such high rates of non-communicable diseases, then we wouldn't need to
Be
help
doing
the
that.
community to be more aware.
Yeah.
If anything, this is an awareness tool.
Yeah.
And if you want it, you can ask the waitress to
Yeah,
bring
they're not
salt.
going to deny you. It's
They'll
just you
bring
got
salt to the table.
It's like one more step
But
you
if
have to
it's
go
not there, then the idea is now you have to think twice if you really need it.
through. Okay.
And that's all it is.
Okay. You also have been cooking there because you have like a kitchen. I think
Cooking
you
classes.
renovated the kitchen as well.
Yep.
You have a kitchen and you had people come in and cook for the girls, teach them recipes, and part of that is also portion control, healthy eating.
Salt reduction.
Salt
But what I like is we take cultural dishes and we kind of twist it a little so that it's healthier. And so it's nice. You know, you use, instead of regular rice for arroz kadu, you use brown rice.
Now, are they also taking these recipes home?
We're
Have you
working
noticed they
on-
are,
We're
or-
working on compiling the recipes and
Yeah.
being
So have
able
them
to-
try it.
Yeah, we've actually given some recipes home because the parents actually asked also. So they're like, yeah, you know, we'll print out some and we'll give it to your girls and you bring it home and make
Well,
the recipe.
I think that part of the idea for Island Girl Power, it's a safe place,
Yes,
right?
it's our safe haven.
It's your safe haven. How do you keep it safe? Because you are dealing with girls that come from tough families, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's negotiating membership from volunteers. So in order to have an effective clubhouse, we need a support group of volunteers that are on the same page. So not perfect volunteers, but a lot of the times they need service learning or community service.
Do they have to be
or through
vetted?
public health. We vet them. We vet them, but we also have an interview process. Every volunteer must go through an orientation and a tour, safety briefing. And there's sections of the clubhouse, of the compound, if you will, 4-building compound. There's public, there's volunteers area, and then the back area where the girls' services are. It's only a few volunteers that have met the requirements that we have. Sexual assault awareness training, suicide prevention training, and just basically how to deal with this young population that we have and the social issues. So there's an Island Girl Power leadership training that they go through.
Now, you said that suicide is big amongst kids. What's the second big problem?
I think
That they face.
I don't know that it's first over, but there's definitely a sexual assault issue, and it's not so much the common, scary stranger danger factor.
It's within the home.
It's within home, but it's also just an understanding in a relationship what is healthy behavior and what is not healthy behavior. There's tons of dating violence going on because it's more of a norm, unfortunately.
Well, it's social media too. You know what I mean? When a girl or a boy thinks that they have learned and known everything about somebody from a short 1-month relationship, talking to them several times a day for
but
a
it's
month.
also-
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That when you finally do have that eye-to-eye meeting, all of that part has been taken out.
Yeah.
So what's next to do?
Yeah,
you know
if
what I
they're
mean?
meeting
I know
on
you
social
well.
media.
I know all your friends.
I have the key and the password to your social media, and so I
Yeah.
get into your accounts.
Yeah.
I look at your phone. If you're going through your partner's phone messages just to see who they're talking to, if it's a habit for your boyfriend to mess around and you keep accepting him back, there's these really bad things that are happening in the community that are tolerated. And for young girls, we need to know what is an abusive, a bad relationship, and what is healthy.
And that it's not only physical, because
It's not
I
only
think a lot of
physical,
a lot of girls just because he's not hitting me doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. I mean, it means that there's nothing
The
wrong. He's not-
intimidation,
the intimidation.
and it goes both ways.
Yeah.
There's definitely abusive relationships that have females being the aggressive person, and we've seen it. We've seen it on both sides. It's a matter of teaching a young lady what healthy relationship values are.
I like
so
that.
that they understand when it's not right.
when it's not right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it is something to celebrate. Not only because without a doubt, this would have not been established as well. So props to Carlotta Leongro, who couldn't be here today, but thank you for everything that you have done for all of these young girls around the island. Thank you for everything that you've done for all these young girls around the island. I know that now that they're older, your daughter is in her 20s. She, probably doesn't remember, and maybe when she sees this program, she'll see just how much, she's blossomed. So congratulations for being good moms, that's for sure. All right, you can eat your salad now.
All right.
Okay, that's it for us. We got to eat. We have things to do. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.